Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well. My name is Victoria Zagopigowska, and I'm really glad that we can have another of our sessions today with focus on collaboration within creative industries. Today's session is going to be a little bit different because we're going to have a special guest who is going to arrive in the next 15 minutes. However, before we're going to start our session and jump directly to Q&A with our guest, I would love to share with you a few things. I would like to share with you a few things before they start, and of course, tell you a little bit more about today's topic. First of all, for those who might have missed last week's session, we already discussed the consultancy sessions. So if you will check the link which we shared with you last Thursday, you're able to see already all dates available with all mentors. Based on the fact that we really did not find a system which could combine agenda of all the mentors. We had to do it in this old school way. So basically, we created a file on Drive where you can comment for the session you're interested in, and we're going to share with you links to specific session with the specific mentor. If you by any chance struggle with this, just feel free to send to our team at victory@victoryart.eu your preference, the time and date preference, and of course preference with mentor. I saw that there were a few sessions taken, but there are still a lot of sessions available. So I would strongly suggest you to actually book it sooner than later, because of course there are limited spots and limited amount of sessions with all the mentors. So just make sure that you grab your preference in terms of time and date as soon as possible. So today's topic is very exciting because we're going to focus on collaborating with other artists and creative fields. And what we're going to do today is that we will briefly talk about this topic. I would say maybe for around 15 minutes or next 10 minutes. And after that, we're going to have the host session. And basically, we're going to discuss experience of one of the artists Victory Art is collaborating the longest with, Andrea Ehret. If you recall this name, it's actually correct because I was mentioning her name, I believe 2 or 3 weeks ago, regarding the latest collaboration which we're going to have in Washington, D.C., starting on the 1st of May. And the reason why I asked Andrea to join this session is because she is one of the best examples of artists collaborating not only with other artists, not only with other creative fields, but in general, many other companies, many other people. And specifically for Andrea, it definitely paid off. So therefore, I asked her to join us today in order to share her experience. And I would love you to already start thinking a little bit now what questions you would like to ask her. Or you can write it in the chat, you can write it down, and then just raise your voice, unmute yourself. But it would be really nice if you just take full advantage of it because she's a very open person. In general, creative collaborations. It's kind of a broad term. These creative collaborations, they can involve more individuals, more organizations. However, there is usually some shared goal which results to either creative process or some creative outcome from this process. So there are different ways or different aspects of creative collaborations, and as well different ways how you can in general perceive creative collaborations. However, creative collaborations are amazing because they help you to push yourself as a creative person further. And it doesn't matter what kind of creative person you are, whether you're a painter, visual artist, whether you are musician, whether you are dancer, whoever you are. It just helps you to build yourself, build your career. You might be able to reach new audiences, maybe even new markets. Sometimes, if you partner up, for example, for exhibitions, you're able to share resources and as well share the costs. And you're just able to gain different insights and perspectives of other people on different topics. So, in general, in creative industries, I personally believe that unless you work with other people, you're not able to make it. This is not a very popular term. I discussed it with multiple people who were very much concerned of the competition within creative industries. And I honestly see their point. However, I do not fully agree with this or with the way how they're seeing creative industries, because it's not only about competitions, it's about just making sure that by working with great people, with other great organizations, you're able to build your reputation, you're able to reach other people, as we discussed, what can be result of these creative collaborations. And from my experience, the more you partner up in creative industries, the more you're able to achieve. So it can be different things, right? It can be joint performances, joint exhibitions, installations. It can be partnerships with different brands. It can be projects which are involving art and as well tech. So it can be cross-sectoral collaborations, or it can be as well collaborations with maybe some non-profit companies or some civil organizations. There are many ways how you can collaborate with people these days, and of course, we can't miss on online collaborations or as well digital collaborations like NFT. The key to have a successful creative collaboration is that you and the person you're working with, that there are certain similarities. So, for example, the values, the shared goals you have, the perspective about the collaboration you have, what you want to achieve from this collaboration. And I wouldn't say that you necessarily have to have the same skill set or the same level of experience or the same strengths. But if you have as well different ones, it's perfectly fine because you can just complement each other with these different strong or strengths or strong points you have. But if you are really thinking about starting creative collaborations with other artists or maybe organizations, one of the simplest and best way how you can achieve it is just to go to some networking events. It can be art fairs, can be conferences, can be maybe lectures, meetups, and just talk to other people. This is actually something what you can utilize as well right now. If you would be interested in creating some creative collaborations within this community right now, within this art incubator, please don't hesitate to let me know. Don't hesitate to actually ask for contacts as well for other people. Of course, there's GDPR, right, and all these things, so we can't just, share contacts of all the people because it's illegal. However, uh, we are always able to ask the other side, hey, would you be interested to share your connections because this person is looking for such kind of collaboration and we feel this is fit. So really don't hesitate to let us know. The same as Madame Emoticon did let us know back in January about her vision for the collaboration, and then we were able to share with others the opportunity. So that can be one of the ways. It can be online platforms such as Instagram, Behance, LinkedIn, many different ways. And of course, it can be through referrals or it can be through second connection of your connections. So in general, as we discussed few seminars ago, I don't recall exactly which one was it, but I mentioned that just ask for the things. Just feel free to spread the word about what you're doing, what you're looking for, and feel free to ask. And I guarantee you that there will be people who are going to find your project interesting, who are going to find what you're looking for inspiring or what you're looking for to do, and you will just find people. If you want to make something work, you will just make it work. But before you make it work, it's very important to have as well certain vision, certain objective about what you want to achieve. Because without having a goal and identifying the target audience, in general, impact, and agreeing on some creative direction, you're not able to create a collaboration with anyone. It will be just maybe very beautiful, but very, very big mess. It can be beautiful, creative mess, but it's going to be still a mess. So always, as we're discussing with everything what you do as an artist, as a creative person, you need to have vision. You need to have certain strategy. Whether you like it or not, you are not an artist, you're not a creative person, you are an artpreneur. I love this term, especially if you are focused specifically on different kinds of art, not only creative industry, but specifically the art industry. This term artpreneur is literally chef's kiss. It defines how much the role of artist and creative person changed, especially in the last the most important was last 40 years, but I would easily say even last 60 years. Make sure that when you want to create these creative collaborations, that you have certain meetings where you discuss with the other person or the other organization the goals, the roles, and the expectations. A lot of people are scared of the expectation management. A lot of people find it inconvenient to especially vocalize these expectations. However, if you do it, it's just going to make your life so much easier in the long run. The same way how expectation management is going to make your life easier in the long run, a proper structure and a project management is going to make it as well amazing. When you are creating certain project, just make sure that when you're sharing information with people, that it's in structured way. Because I can promise you that a lot of people these days don't properly read their emails. They forget where they're supposed to check for the information you shared with them. Even if you give them certain tool to work with, there's much higher chance that they are going to be more structured, but probably there might still be a bit of confusion. But there's high chance that it's going to be much less issues in the long run than if you're not structured. Even if it's just a drive file with a bunch of links saying visit this one, we discussed this, I don't know, 2 meetings ago. There just needs to be certain structure. The same how, like when you're in school, when you're doing some essay, there is certain way how you're doing things. The same thing is supposed to be as well with the creative projects. Be very realistic about the budget, about the deadlines, and of course, resources. And don't forget that effective collaboration comes as well with the trust and respect. So even if you're working with your friend, it's very important and crucial to still stay professional and appreciate the contribution of each other. It's important to have certain flexibility in your vision, in your time to adapt to the project. And it's always good to have open conversation and give each other feedback. If there is, of course, certain challenge, what definitely when you're working with other people, there will be certain challenges. Just try to address it in diplomatic way. And I believe that you definitely will choose amazing person to work with, and that you will be able to just solve challenges in a proper and professional way. And if I may give you my 2 cents, I definitely suggest you not to work with people you don't share similar values with, and don't work with people who give you, like this ick, or like you just sense something that usually never goes, very far. So trust your intuition, and while doing all that, we mentioned it multiple times, many times, but having something written down, having some contract, some agreement, official emails is always good way to go. If you want to know more about this, I would strongly suggest you to book session with GJW, with Philip and Paulina. It depends, like they're going to be switching, but if you're gonna book session with them, you will definitely get a great advices. I don't think I'm going to continue anymore with this promotional stuff, because we're going to have a lot of other topics regarding the marketing and just branding. And so I would love to skip a few of these slides. And this is the last one which I would love to show you before I'm gonna give my word to Andrea, because she is already with us. And I would love to just pinpoint this very nice collaboration with Yayoi Kusama, with Louis Vuitton. And of course, if you want to work with Louis Vuitton, right, it's going to take some time, because here are all the emerging but very talented artists. However, this is as well what you can do, what you can achieve by collaborating with smaller brands. So feel free to just give it a try, open your mind towards different things, and just don't hesitate to approach other people. And right now, I would love to give my word to Andrea, who is going to tell us a little bit more about herself. That would be really great, Andrea, if you can introduce yourself, because I said a little bit about our upcoming collaboration in Washington, D.C. However, it will be great if you can share with the audience uh, just a little bit about your journey, because it's quite a significant journey for many years, but just a little bit for those people who didn't know you until now. So who are you? What are you focusing on?
Hi, everyone. Greetings from Prague. My name is Andrea Ehret. I am a Slovak artist living for a while in Czech Republic since probably 2002, actually. Having, international collaborations, not only with Victory Art, but many other galleries all around the world. uh, Exhibitions. Art is my life, my love, and my passion. This is what I live for and what I love truly. So I would say I'm an abstract expressionist, and my work is divided into two directions. One is more expressive and a large scale, and the other is more meditative, and it's calligraphic, more concentrated on mindfulness and executed in silence. So this is me. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Mhm. Okay, great. Thank you very much for the introduction. I already mentioned before you joined that I believe that you are one of the best people to utilize fully collaborations in creative industries. And beside, of course, like going the traditional way, like working with galleries, working with art companies, you're having a lot of other collaborations uh, with, of course, creatives by working as well on their art, like with
Mm-hmm.
Thea, right? For example. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
or I know that you were partly working on on certain fashion elements.
Mm-hmm.
So in general, how do you feel about building this kind of, I would
Mm-hmm.
say, a little bit alternative collaborations in creative industries? And through the years, how would you evaluate these collaborations? Do you
Mm-hmm.
feel that this was one of the key to your success in the creative industries, or in general, how do you perceive it?
Okay, thank you, Vicky, for questions. I think it's starting with the point that I truly believe in supporting others. I believe that by supporting others, I mean, artists who are coming to my studio and I help them with their career, or artists who are searching for a collaboration, I am open to it always if I like it and if I feel that there is a connection between our art or we can create a collaboration, I will go for it. Of course, my key important fact is that I have to feel it and I have to know that this is the right direction I want to go for. If I don't believe in it, I can't collaborate with either the company or the person. So it all starts for me with the authentic feeling, how I feel about the project, if the project is authentic enough for me, strong enough for me. And I co-create a lot of important projects recently. I do one very close to my heart with a photographer, Ivana Dostalova, which is about toxic relationships. And the name of this project is The Traces of the Unseen. And it's about body calligraphy I do on people, and she photographs it in therapeutic way. And the outcome is extremely strong. At the same time, it requires so much connection. So I wouldn't do any of these projects if I don't believe in this project. So this starts and ends with that. For me, it's the key. And even with the fashion industry, I love fashion. I'm yes, I do. So there is a cooperation with the jeweler who asked me to actually collaborate on the limited edition of the golden bracelets, which we did. It is a jewelry from Poland, Lviv. It's very beautiful. I love it. I would wear it. I wouldn't go for it if I wouldn't. So it's the one kind of piece. And there's also some other people that I collaborated with. I truly believe supporting other artists, and by lifting others, your star wouldn't shine less bright.
That was actually very sweet what you said actually
Yeah.
in the end. It's very nice. Of course, if someone else has questions, feel free just to unmute yourself and just unmute your mic and jump into this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You're more than welcome to do it. And do you feel that there was certain collaboration which really stood up for you and really strongly impacted your career, which could result to more opportunities or more sales, something what really changed the directory of your career?
Mm-hmm. I I don't really think that it's changed my sales in any way, but I would say that the collaboration I became open to with dancers and choreographers. I do the live painting performances with a lot of people. actually very talented, either my students, young artists, which I gave a chance to collaborate with me on the stage, or with my friend, dancer and choreographer Jana Dradska. And these are the type of collaboration which me personally gave so much as an artist, because I was challenged to perform in a very raw way, in medias res, on the stage, something what I wouldn't be probably doing, or I wouldn't push myself to do if I wouldn't, challenge myself to collaborate with these people. So not only, particularly some personalities, but I think that the collaboration of on live painting performances truly and totally changed my art career. I love it. It's challenging. It's beautiful. Uh, so far, for the collaboration, which I would call commercial, one of the most important collaboration started with you guys in The Hague, in the World Center Art Gallery, which we did in 2019, which gave me more confidence to actually, go abroad and accept maybe the offers I had from other galleries later in that year and the upcoming year. It was very good. I already had a collaboration with London Gallery back then and a German gallery, but they approached me with the solo show. So for me, it was also probably the gallery in London, Nun Pavel Fine Art, which kicked my career maybe a little bit different direction. Yeah. So.
That's really great to hear.
Mhm.
And during this art incubator, I already mentioned multiple times that it really takes consistency to work on your art career. It takes a while. So, how much this overnight success took for you?
25 years.
25 years.
Right, overnight success.
Yeah, it's just like a reality check, to know that.
Right. This is something what usually comes up when my students come to studio and they would like to, right away exhibit abroad and things like that. And I said, well, it takes time, nobody takes away the time in your studio. Just keep working, keep showing up, and it will come up. Yeah.
And besides the collaborations, what,
Mm-hmm.
what helped to build your reputation as an artist?
Vicky, I think it's what you said. It's the consistency and the fact that you don't give up when you're not successful right away. You keep going, you keep showing up, you keep working on yourself. You do your daily practice, because I do my daily practice on my calligraphies. That's something what I never skip any day. Like wherever I am, I do that. And yeah, I mean, most importantly, don't give up on yourself, in a way that if there is any disappointment, you send your portfolio to some gallery or to some show, and they would say, no, you are not right fit. So you are not going to give up on yourself, and you keep showing up. You would say, okay, maybe I just wasn't the right one for this one, and I will be for other ones. So that's I think it's important to trust your guts, trust your instincts, and just keep going. Don't be, even if you are disappointed, like, you don't give up on yourself.
Thank you. So we have a first question here.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, at some point, did you find that collaborators reached out to you, or do you still look for collaborators?
Yeah. Thank you for the question. Yes, I currently don't look for any collaboration, and the people, galleries, curators are reaching out. So that's a good feeling, sure. It's wonderful to feel that way. It is good that you can choose who you would cooperate with, or which gallery you like or don't like, space wise or the project wise. So uh, definitely, I used to, at the beginning, I used to write 5, 10 letters to a gallery, right? And sometimes nothing. And it was really frustrating. It was, like right now I'm telling to my students to write very short application letters, because that's what they told me. They don't really read this, they will really they will really quickly go through it, click on your portfolio, they like it or not, and just go for another one. So this is important information. Don't write a long motivational letters who you are. Just give them links to your portfolio and shortly say, here I am. Nicely, of course, politely, and in a way. If they like you, they will choose you. And yeah, I guess. I hope that I answered that.
I think so. So currently you're not reaching to anyone.
No.
Like, but there was the time that you had this kind of ongoing process. Uh,
Mhm.
w- what point of the career was it, and how long did it take for you to, like, break through and to start seeing the results? Because a lot of artists, when they try to reach out to galleries or other organizations, they might, hear a lot of many times no. They might get disappointed. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Well,
when was it for you? Like when it
yeah. Yeah. Well, 90% of time you will hear no. At the beginning, for sure. Also, it's important to know where to look when you are looking for your gallery. When you don't know where to look, nobody is teaching you this at the art school. Nobody told me as well. Nobody told me who I should reach or who I shouldn't, why I'm such a good fit for this gallery and not for the other one. So firstly, look what gallery it is, if they are showing artists on your level, if you're mid-career artist, emerging artist, or beginner, if they are even showing, similar names of the artists, when they, when you look at the names and you check the names, if the artists are somewhere where you are, maybe where you're working. Another thing which is really important, do you even like the gallery? Do you like the space? Do you like the people? What they are saying, what kind of work they are showing? Do you like who they have chosen already? Do you like the work they exhibited, or you don't? If you truly like it, you should select few of the galleries that you truly like it, and if you believe that maybe you're a right fit, even go and show up personally. Like take your portfolio, show up, bring them the what you have. If you are, you're reaching for the gallery abroad, that of course then just send the portfolio. It's important to have really good website, and the website should be very simple, very minimalistic. It should show your work, it should show your shows, and it should have your artist statement. Doesn't need anything else. So
from the perspective of the gallerist, I would say that what Andrea said about doing research is extremely important.
mhm.
We are receiving a lot of emails from different artists from all around the world, while literally the first thing you see on our website is contemporary art from Central and Eastern Europe.
Mhm.
And when we just receive even invitation for collaboration, or if artist is sharing with us the portfolio and artist is not from the countries which we work with, we just ignore, the the
Mhm.
email, because we see that clearly the person didn't do the research and
Mhm.
it's not professional, so we just directly skip it.
Mhm.
I see that we have few more questions, but I would love to finish with the second part of the first question. Have you ever had a collaboration that took longer than you expected?
Yeah. I already am struggling with this one for a while, and it's a gallery in China, which at the beginning of my career, which I did not know much about contracts like I do now, and I wasn't very careful. And the gallery, the contract they signed with this Chinese gallery was for 10 years with the exclusive collaboration only with this gallery. So there is no other gallery which can represent me in Taiwan, Hong Kong, and China except this one. And they're not doing the job they should do the way I would expect them to. Like they did quite a bit of the shows, but I would like to end the collaboration at this point of my career because it's already 8 years, but I can't. So this is the collaboration which is taking more than 8 years, and I'm not super happy about it. I mean, they're not unprofessional or anything like that. I'm not 100% happy with them. I would say that if I can change them, because I had different opportunities in that area, they're coming to me from China, and I can't sign the contract with a different gallery because of this gallery. I have to wait. So
Yeah, I understand.
be careful with the contracts.
Yeah. Mm. I maybe that would be as well interesting for you to talk to our consultants from GJW who are actually providing the law consultancy and law advices. Maybe they will be able to have a look at it and do something or just give you some suggestions.
Thank you. Yeah.
Jason, tell us what's the question?
Hi, thank you for the opportunity to speak to Andrea. Actually, I have two, if you don't mind. I think it's kind of shared. Even Victoria can chip in. It'd be quite interesting to hear what your thoughts are. First of all, I'm a dancer, so it's quite nice to actually hear that you've worked with dancers, Andrea. So my first question is actually a bit of a weird one. Like, I am very interested in, let's say, the career of artists in general, right? When you say career, it's quite a long perspective. So have you ever had or been offered a collaboration when you're at like your absolute worst point in your career, when you really expect nothing, and somebody throws like a carrot at you? And the second question, maybe also this could be something for Victoria, is has anyone ever offered a collaboration to you, but not in your primary sector, like as an artist or as an entrepreneur, but something else that you never really expected? Yeah, thanks.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Jason. Yeah, I do have. I mean, it wasn't like I was the lowest point. I just had my child. I was pregnant with my child, and I had a child. And at that point, I thought that my career ended, right? Because my curator at the time from London, instead of congratulating me of having a baby, she was telling me, "Well, you're done. We're not gonna probably, having any shows anymore together or anything." So that was difficult to swallow. And at the same time, there were small galleries in Czech Republic who came and offered me, like small shows, which was more intimate. And I didn't even know if I'm going to be able to be an artist anymore, because I was just feeding my baby, and I didn't really know if I would be able to be mother and an artist, right? So that was a point in my life where I wasn't 100% sure I can make it. And these smaller, let's say, more intimate shows came, and I was actually realizing, okay, well, this is a wonderful process and I love it. Let's go deeper, and you don't need to go big on large scale. Now is the time to go more intimate. So that was it. And the collaboration I didn't expect. I mean, there are many. There are sometimes, I mean, some collaborations are really like massively wild, like designing, skateboards, or I don't know, what was it last time, rocks, or something like that. And with the focus you have as an artist, it's important for you to say, like, is it something what attracts me? Is it something what calls me? um does it move me? All these things. I mean, I can't really think about something like absolutely like out of my context. I used to dance, and when I did like a installation and performance for Safe Spaces, which was for fight against domestic violence project. Then I danced. I used, I was able to move in a way that I forgot that I am able to in a sense of music. So that was maybe something which I came back to. I hope that I answered. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing. I'm gonna as well chip into this question and answer Jason's question. Especially when we were in the beginning, Victoria was very open to different collaborations. And sometimes we went as far as working with companies which you would normally even did not really connect art with. And there was one specific company which was producing sustainable frisbees.
I remember that, yeah.
And then we got in touch, I think, with two free artists who were open to actually do that. And this artist painted directly on the frisbees, and it was very, very, I think, funky collaboration because
Mm-hmm.
you normally don't see art on frisbees, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, it's very the frisbee is you cannot really use it, afterwards. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
printed or there's like unless it's printed, you just can't use the frisbee, right? And then it's becoming more collectible than like the just in general the purpose of the product just is not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the wildest things we did. Would we do it again? Maybe in different way. I would say mainly with different company. With different company. I'm not gonna name the company,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes even the most craziest things or the things you even don't think about that they can be connected can be actually connected in a cool way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Does anyone
Thank you.
else? Thank you, Jason, as well. Does anyone else have question? There's one other question in the chat, which is more focused towards the direction of the industry. However, if someone is still interested in asking about the collaborations, feel free to just write it in the chat right now or unmute yourself directly. Okay, I'm gonna give it a time. In the meantime, I'm gonna ask this question. So, what changes do you see in art industry since the beginning of your career? How did it develop?
Okay. I think it's it's becoming more business. Certainly I would say it's rough, and it used to be rough, but it's even more now, I would say. Yeah, especially in the market, when you are talking about the worldwide market, it's getting really goal orientated, and I even encounter few challenges with the creators trying to push me certain way, or my collection certain way. And I find very important for me as an artist that I stand by authenticity of my art, and I would never actually do anything what I don't believe in. So this is something what I recommend to everyone. Don't let the industry or the market push you, because once you are falling for the trap, you're never gonna go back. It's not the commercial success which is actually saying anything about your art. What is important that you believe in your art, and eventually the commercial success would appeal and would appear in your portfolio. You just keep sending your art, keep showing your art to the world, either on social media or to competitions worldwide, but don't fall for the trap if the either curatorial trap or any other traps which will tell you go this direction, because nowadays it's the figurative line, or nowadays it's an abstract line with the figurative momentum. Don't go for that. You have to believe in yourself, and if you don't believe in your art and your voice, who else would be believing in that?
Thank you very much for sharing this. I would love to pinpoint that Andrea has pretty big following as well on Instagram. And this is something was part of commercial. So I would love to ask Miley's question. I know, and we've been working together, I think that since 2018. It's already 7 years. So it's like
Well,
even maybe 8 years. I'm not
yeah.
sure at this point. But it's definitely a lot. And I remember that back then you already had your Instagram, you had your style. We recently had this kind of short discussion how much your style developed and how huge difference there is between 2018 Andrea and her artworks and 2025 Andrea and her artworks. And in terms of this more social media marketing commercial way of doing things, how did you build your social media?
Mm-hmm. Well, again, I'm probably not the right person for giving an advice about social media, because I do it very intuitively. I just when I'm very emotional, as expressive as it shows in my art. So I would go and show my face in the studio, would say things that I believe that are true about my art, would publish a little bit of interviews here and there, or the quote I said somewhere. And so again, I am doing it the most authentic way I believe I can. Sometimes I would post like two things in a day, reel and a story, or post. Sometimes I wouldn't. So I do it very organically. I don't really understand any of the things that's going on Instagram. It changes a lot. It changed a lot. I used to have so many clients, because of the algorithm was actually very nice to us as an artist at the beginning when Instagram started working. And now it's very different. So I realized the algorithms changed. I don't know how. But it doesn't bring me so many clients. I used to have like clients from all around the world coming on Instagram to me. I was sending works to Canada, to Australia, New Zealand, because of freaking Instagram. But nowadays it's a different story. Like I usually have people who would follow me who either know me, or they saw my show, or they went to see my show. And yes, I have a huge audience. It happens again with the consistency, and probably because what I post speaks to people. But I wouldn't say that is something what I can recommend anyone, because I don't know. Like I only have like a strong aesthetic feelings. But talking about algorithm, no, I can't talk about that. I only think that for a social media, again, you should probably have at least a slightly feeling what you can or cannot post, and don't go like again overboard. Like don't push too much, don't like sell too much, don't oversell, and certainly don't sell yourself. Sell the art if you sell something. So I don't know again if I answered the question. Probably.
I think you answered it very nicely. I I just secretly wish that you were the only person saying this about algorithm and how much it's changed from perspective of artists and from perspective how many clients it brings. But you're sadly not the first one,
Mm.
and it is what it is. Sadly, with the social media, so that actually shows another reason why to focus on more things, not only on marketing but as well
Mm.
on really this kind of collaborations with other companies, creatives, individuals, organizations.
Yes.
I would love to say thank you so much for joining us today, Andrea. It was really lovely having this discussion with you. I just would love to say two last things. If you go to our website right now, you're able to get to know a little bit more about what Andrea and Victory Art is going to do in Washington, D.C. On the 1st of May. So if you're interested, feel free to go there. Feel free to check Andrea's social media because I think she's doing really, really nice work as well in terms of the interviews and just, giving the behind the scene BTS content. That makes a big difference. So just go check her out. Make your own opinion, and I think that you can get some inspiration definitely over there.
Thank you.
Gladly. And I'm going to, well, you can always connect with Andrea if you want online. You will definitely see her in many places. And I just would love to say thank you so much for joining this session, and we're going to share with you all the materials tomorrow morning. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you so much, Vicky. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming and for questions. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.